Hi Soundies, let's look at MIDI. So in the previous episode, the previous lecture demonstration or tutorial, whatever it may be, we looked at how to import sounds into the sampler and play them back through MIDI. Now MIDI is different to audio recording in the sense that MIDI stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface. And so when you plug your keyboard into a computer and you trigger the keys, you press the keys, when you're recording, you're not recording the sound of the note. You're not recording the sound itself. You're recording what note you're hitting, how hard you're hitting it, how long you're keeping your finger pressed down, and a variety of other things, whether you use sustain or whether you use the modulation wheel and so on. So I'm going to demonstrate this. I won't use the sampler now. I will just, here we are, this is the trash can kit. It's still there. But I'm just going to choose let's just choose a drum kit. Let's choose an electronic drum kit. So I've selected this track, and in my sounds, if I click on this one up here, if you don't have it, just click on there, and you get the range of different sounds that you can have. So let's have a drum kit, electronic drum kit. Let's have a classic 808, something like that, is it? 808. Which is a kind of 70s drum synth that was used for kind of acid house. Okay, so I'm going to, let's just get rid of this. Okay, so each note, because it's sampled, so you can understand how it works now, individual sounds are all in different keys. So I'm going to record this kit. See here, this is the BPM, so it's going to play back at 120 BPM. So I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to switch on my click track. Oh, what I don't want to do is record audio, so undo recording. So I might take this off for a minute. I'm hoping that you can still hear me. I'm not entirely sure whether you can. There we go. So I've just done, by the way, can you see this window here? This is the piano roll window. When I'm on a MIDI track, if I want to open up the edit window for that MIDI track, I press this. And there you can see, and if I zoom in, you can see here's the grids that we talked about at the very beginning in the very first tutorial. And each one of those notes needs to be exactly on the grid line to be entirely in time. And it's not quite. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to select All. And that just highlights everything in here. Now, can you see? Let's see if I can drag this out a little bit. Can I do that? Will it let me? There we are. So what we have is time quantize. And it quantizes, what it does, what quantize means, it takes a note and it moves it to the nearest grid line. And you can decide the resolution on that by, this is 16th. This is my standard one. So it deals in 16ths of notes. So if I press the Q button here, it'll move all of these exactly to the grid point that I want, like so. I'm going to undo that. Now if I click on here and choose second note, because there are only 2 beats in this quantize, it automatically puts them together. So what you need to do is you need to have the lowest number. 8 will do it nicely. The lowest number in terms of the quantize time that you can possibly get away with, depending on the frequency of the track, how many notes are being played in a bar. This is bar here, bar 3 to bar 4, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes in it. Yeah, so an 8 will do, whereas a 4 will not. So I'll just undo that. So always quantize once you've recorded. So I'll go back to 8s and we'll quantize. So now if I play it, I can take the click off now. And I can either duplicate this track and add other bits, or I can just dub over. So those are my hi-hats. Oh, I got to switch my... There we go. And again, select all and quantize. And there we are. So if I press play now, and so this here is pitch, it's C1, I'm playing, and I'm the velocity of 95. The different colors represent different velocities. So if I highlight, for example, let me just zoom out. If I highlight just all the bass ones, I can then zoom back in again. I can go select in my tool, quantize tool, or velocity tool, I beg your pardon, and then increase the velocity of that kick drum. And the same is true, for example, for the hi-hats, which are a bit quiet. I can highlight all of those, press my command click tool and watch that up so I get a little bit more. Like so. To prove that I've not recorded this sound, that I've just recorded information which is then triggering the sound in the sampler, I'm going to change the kit. So let's change it to a brush kit. Or maybe a heavy kit. Or a Californian kit, like the 70s. Or I can go to kind of weirder ones. So we're not recording sound, we're recording information which is then used to trigger the sound that's actually on the sampler. So let's just go back to 8-bit. Let's see what that sounds like. Sounds rubbish, but there we go. So let's go back to Bluebird. It doesn't even have to be a drum kit. I could say, right, let's make it Latin. I have no idea what's going to play now, but that's rubbish. Try Studio. Coffee shop. Oh, that was a bit of a poor example. I'll tell you what, let's have a piano. It's just information. Let's go back to our drum kit. So there we go. So what if you're not very good at doing this? So I'm going to do it all again. I'm going to delete it. And because I'm channeling what I was like in the 1980s, when I first started doing MIDI recording using a Korg M3R synth module, which I still have, I was absolutely rubbish. I was a guitarist. I wasn't a keyboard player. And so I would take my BPM, here it is, and I would, don't worry about this, in fact, delete that. I would take it down to something that I could play. So let's say 70 BPM. So it's much slower. And record it again. And see how much slower it is now? It's too slow for me these days, but I'm recording audio. There we go. So there it is. Look how offbeat it is. That's quite on, but that's a bit off. So select all, and let's quantify it, I think, to 16s here. There we go. And you see how that sounds. Nice. Let's put that hi-hat in. And there we have it. Again, I'll go to Edit, select all, and quantize, like so. And then let's put it back up to speed. So 70, let's go back up to 120. Hell, let's go to 130. Recording audio. And then I can always loop it. Actually, I've got to switch my snap back on, so my loop goes at the beginning and the end of the bars. There it is. So that'll just go around. Groovy. Okay, so I'm just going to create a new software instrument. I always choose empty channel strip so I can then decide. So bass. Let's have subby bass. Sub means for sub bass, so really low sub bass sound, something like that. I'm not good enough to play that fast, so I'm gonna go back slow again. I'm gonna take the loop out because I don't want it to rub over itself. 1, 2, 3. So there's my subby bass. There it is. Again, edit, select all. I tend to stay on 16 note unless it proves to be problematic. Okay, so we've got this kind of groove. Take the click out. Yeah. Oh, well, there's one bit I didn't like. Let's play it again. Oh, see that one there? That runs over that one and it creates a bit of a fuzz. So I'm just going to trim that down. Keep going. Oh, that's the gap. So I think let's have that run all the way up. Now let's see what this baby's like back at 130, which is where we were last before we slowed it down. Let's watch on the loop again. Let's see what that sounds like. Bit fast actually. I think we need to go down to about 110. Yeah. And one more just for the proof of the pudding. Software instrument. Let's have, oh, there's the quick sampler. Let's have piano. I got to jam a bit here because I'm not entirely sure what key I'm in. Let's keep it simple. Okay. We'll do. I'm not creating a masterwork here. I'm just trying to show you what to do. So there we go. Again, look how off I am a bit. Sometimes when you've got creative expression, when doing solos or stuff, you might not want to quantize. You want to get that kind of slightly, there you are, that kind of slightly offbeat, kind of funky groove. But with your backline, that's all right. Pardon me. I'm going to highlight all of those. I'm going to position my cursor. Let's get rid of that. There we are. I'm going to position my cursor at the top so I've got the loop function and I can just loop that for a bit. Cool. It's an old sound from my previous class. Delete. Okay, so let's have another sound. Let's go to software instrument, create. Let's have synthesizer, something leady. Have we got nice mellow poly? Pulse echo lead. It's alright, let's give it a try. I won't record, I'll just play. Let's record it, why not? And that maybe, it doesn't help that I've got a whole microphone in my way, but there we go. But I can quantize this a little bit. Select all, keep it at 16s, quantize that. Let's see how that sounds. Ooh, I don't like that. So I'm going to move that one, move that up a bit, see if that sounds a bit better. Better? And that is MIDI. And you can have exactly the same. You can have exactly the same effects in here. It's exactly the same as audio when it comes to what audio effects you can have in. This is one of the great things about Logic. It has fantastic soft synths. Oh, Hammond. Oh, no, I'm still on the drum kit. I didn't choose Hammond, did I? Let's I tell you what. Instead of having the echo pulse lead, let's have Hammond organ B3 sideman. See what that sounds like. There's a few bum notes which didn't come out when it was the monophonic synth, So the I'll delete that one. And there was another one. That's that one. Okay, let's have another listen. I'm actually pressing down the sustain pedal, which activates the lesson speaker. That's MIDI. Yeah, okay. So I think we'll end the class there. Excellent. Go have a cup of tea. Go have a cup of tea.